Hello, Kayla.
Hi.
I've got to say, before we start this podcast, you are looking exceptionally swole right now. What have you been doing?
Just taking a lot of supplements.
Lots of supplements. I thought so.
Yeah.
All over-the-counter supplements, or these are the back alley illegal supplements?
The back alley illegal ones.
That's what I thought. So we don't condone that here at MumbleCast, but if you need to get swole as Kayla is, you just have to do what it takes.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta do what you gotta do. If I was not wanting to go down the back alley route and jab myself in the bum, you got any idea what I should be taking?
I have a few.
A few ideas?
Yeah.
Cool. I have a few as well. We'll see if we can compare. So, MumbleCast listeners, we are going to be talking a little bit about supplements today. Probably hitting maybe 10 or so different over-the-counter supplements, which we should all maybe incorporate into our lives. Not necessarily if you're active or not, but they all have good and bad benefits. Some ones that we take unknowingly what they do just because someone told us to. So hopefully we can hit the sort of surface level, explain what some of these things do. Does that sound good? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, in that case, let's get ready to mumble. All right, before we get started, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. We missed last week.
We did.
Badass.
Yeah.
How would you manage almost every week in Japan, and you come home?
I know.
And we missed it the first week or second week you're home.
It was a lot of transition time.
Yeah. Guys, you almost got a solo podcast for me, and I did about a 25-minute podcast, and I listened back, and it was so bad that I deleted it, and you'll never hear it again. So I think we know that even though Kayla and I together don't make a very strong team, we make a really poor team when we're broken apart. So we're going to try and keep it. We've got a couple in mind, and we're both in the country, in the state, for the foreseeable future, so we should hit you up with some pretty solid ones in the coming future. If anything, topics you want to hear, let us know. We're not running short, but it's always good to get some feedback as opposed to just doing what pops into our heads that particular week. Anything else? Good. All right. So when it comes to supplements, I didn't take any supplements since I started CrossFit.
Yeah, me neither.
Prior to that, I didn't take any vitamins, no minerals, nothing. I wasn't into taking anything. When I was rugby, you used to get taking stuff, but I'd always feel like it was cheating, which I know it isn't now. But I don't know. You always want to be natural. But did you take any?
I tried to take some vitamins, but then depending on when I took them, they would make me feel sick. So then I just stopped. So no, not until CrossFit.
It's weird because over in America, vitamins and minerals, that seem like a staple. Give your kids them and make sure. And it's like in the UK, it just doesn't happen. There's not. I don't know if it's because the sort of the way the drugs are sold and kind of marketed here, or if it's just. Maybe we eat more fruit and veg, I don't know. But maybe. It's never been anything pushed. Or maybe it was just my family.
So you didn't have Flintstone vitamins?
Didn't have Flintstone vitamins.
Oh my god, they're the best.
No, not until I came here did I realise, find out what they all are.
They're so good.
I literally cannot remember taking a single vitamin.
I kind of want to go buy some Flintstone vitamins and just eat them.
Candy.
They're very good.
I'm pretty sure there was some Olympic athlete who was asked some question about how he performed. He bettered his score or something by a large amount, and he claimed it was due to Flintstone's vitamins.
That's hilarious.
When I started CrossFit, I got introduced to a whole bunch of them. And although CrossFit doesn't necessarily push anything but omega-3s, like fish oils, everyone talks about everything, and if you want to be anywhere competitive and recover, they advise you, or they don't really advise you, but you need to kind of look into this stuff.
Yeah.
So what was one of the first ones what have you got on your list?
So my list of 5, I have beta-alanine, casein, how do you say it?
I will say casein, but I don't know if that's correct or not.
Protein.
We are not scientists by any means.
No.
We will be making up the words.
And the pronunciations.
Trying to pronounce them right. We may get things wrong.
We will.
We will get things wrong, but we're going to give you a good baseline of introduction to all, and then you can research a little bit more if you ever want to take it.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so beta-alanine, casein, protein, omega-3 fish oil, BCAAs, and vitamin C and D.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go over creatine, whey protein, which is slightly different to casein protein, melatonin, caffeine, and magnesium, the mineral magnesium. I think that was 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's that then?
Yeah, I'll start with beta-alanine. So this is a non-essential beta amino acid. But even though it's like a non-essential one, it quickly became like an essential part of bodybuilding and nutrition and all of that. So it is a structural hybrid between L-glycine and GABA. And that gives it its like caffeine-like effect, which is why you usually take it. It's usually taken during like a pre-workout type drink. Mm-hmm. So your body can produce it in 3 ways. Well, at least 3 ways that we know about right now. It's released during the breakdown of histidine dipeptides. It's formed as a secondary byproduct of a reaction that converts L-alanine to pyruvate.
Okay. And
it can be formed during digestion when your intestinal microbes are trying to remove a carbon atom from L-aspartate.
Okay, so it seems like it's a breakdown of amino acids that creates this beta-alanine.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So it's not found in many foods. You can get it by consuming pork or beef, but it's still not... Well, pork or beef have... Okay, back up. So this beta-alanine, when it's consumed, it passes from your bloodstream into the skeletal muscle through beta-alanine and taurine So you have a beta-alanine and taurine transmitter. So when you can like ingest it, it passes into the bloodstream through that transmitter, depending on your sodium and chloride availability. And then it binds with the essential amino acid L-histidine to form dipeptide carnosine. That's the important part of this, the carnosine.
Okay. So it combines with that, did you say?
It combines with the amino acid L-histidine to form the dipeptide carnosine. Okay. So that carnosine is an antioxidant, and it's also, when you are doing like in high intensity exercise, it's your muscle's first defense against the buildup of hydrogen atoms. So yeah, so when you're like working out really hard, like a high intensity thing, higher hydrogen ions lowers the pH in your muscle cells, and that leads to muscle fatigue.
And is that what brings on the lactic acid?
Yes,
I think. I assume the pH. Yeah, okay, changes.
So the whole thing is this carnosine prevents those hydrogen ions from building up. So you want more of this carnosine in your bloodstream and your muscles. And it's also linked to the higher concentrations linked to a higher percentage of type 2 fast twitch muscle fibers.
Okay, so more like explosive type movements.
Yes.
Nice. So from a layman's point of view, it helps your muscles act quicker before fatiguing, or act longer before fatiguing.
Act longer before fatiguing, yes.
Okay. And does it say specifically what type of workouts it benefits from? Is it slow, fast movements, or is it like, would it work for endurance as well? Or I'm assuming both, maybe, if it's delaying the onset of fatigue.
I mean, it just said high intensity. Anything like...
Okay, so maybe not long distance running potentially, but more...
Like sprinting and stuff, yeah, CrossFit. And
heavy, lifting, bodybuilding stuff. Have you ever taken beta-alanine?
Taken pre-workout.
Pre-workout.
But, I mean, and that's another thing I found out. So, pre-workout has it in there, but, like, there's different versions of it. There's different... Like, alanine in and of itself is one thing, and there's different versions of it. So, beta-alanine is one of them.
Okay.
So, you have to make sure your pre-workout actually says beta-alanine and not just, like, something else alanine. Mm-hmm. For it to actually, like, give you that same benefit.
Yeah. Okay. Have you? So, I've taken this on and off. I've not kind of done long cycles of this. Mm-hmm. Have you felt the side effects? The immediate side effects.
Yes.
They are the most strange things of all the supplements I've ever taken.
It is.
Like, I used to take them back in Aberdeen, and I'd get a tingly bottom, and it'd be like an itchy bottom, but it was weird. And so I used to take it in the mornings after my workout. Mm-hmm. And I would have showered, gone home, and going to work, and then I have an itchy bottom in the car to work, and it's I don't know why I went to my bottom, but it did. My bum. I don't know Americans, sure. So that's why I always get itchy with it, or tingly.
Usually it's my whole body, like my arms. It's especially like in my arms and my face. I can feel it, and so that's called acute paresthesia. something. It's just the tingling that is like the side effect from the dosage. So that's like the built-in dosage system is what it said. And because like the more you take, the more severe it gets. Oh. So it just said that if it's too severe, then you either space out the dosing or you lower the dosage.
Huh. So that's not a bad thing. It's just a side effect.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I think it's because maybe I did a lot. Like in the mornings, I would always do my strengths. It'd always be squats or deadlifts or something. So therefore, if I was using that muscle, maybe that's. Wait, I have no idea how it works. That's the poppycock. There's no way it goes to what you're using. But
so then the other thing it said is that you usually combine beta alanine with taurine because so they both work for the same.
You said the receptors work together, did you?
Yeah. Well, so they both go to the same receptor, and so if you have like they compete for uptake. So if you are only taking beta alanine, then you could become deficient in taurine because, like, if you have an overload of beta alanine,
yeah. Okay.
So to take them both together, and timing doesn't matter too much, but consistency does.
So do you think people should take beta alanine?
I think that if you are like working out consistently, then yes, probably. Especially for the carnosine benefits.
Yeah, I think obviously depending on what type of training you're doing, perhaps. But if you're in our field and it's CrossFit, and you can be regimented with it, yeah, why not? It's pretty solid to take.
Yep.
Another one, so my first one, another one that kind of comes hand in hand. Well, first thing about beta alanine, it's along with the one I'm about to talk about, it's one of the most tested drugs in the world, which is like the one with the most papers on it from universities and sort of a lot of science behind it. Not necessarily because it makes a lot of money, but just because it's quite an easy test for what you give people that tell them to train. Do they get better? Yes or no? You know, that's the main one for a lot of them, and then is especially because any advantage in high level athletics means great amount of time, you know, and if you can pass it in drug tests, when you get to the elite level, 0.5% advantage over another person is massive, you know, 1% advantage. So there's a lot of studies on that. The first one I'm going to talk about is creatine. You're familiar with creatine?
Yes.
Or familiar, at least with the name, at least.
With the name.
Yeah. I've been familiar with creatine since I was a teenager. People talking about it. Never fully know what it does or what you use it for. And just gradually over the last 15 years or so, it's sort of become a little bit more apparent to me. But basically, creatine is like a non-essential dietary compound. So it's something that we have in our system we can get from food, but by no means is it required for you to live or anything like that. It's found naturally in meat and fish, but our body also synthetically creates it in the liver. It breaks down amino acids like arginine, glycinine, methionine, I can't remember the names, something like that. And it breaks that down in the liver. So through getting it through our food and breaking down the liver, through the digestive system, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream. So it's passed through the body, through the bloodstream itself. And this is how it gets transferred to the muscles. It doesn't necessarily need sort of any connections. I'm not going to go too deep into it, mainly because I can't quite remember. But I'm pretty sure it just goes straight to the muscles through that side. Once in the muscles, it does combine with high energy phosphate, which we have in our muscles already. And then once it combines with the high energy phosphate, it becomes phosphocreatine or creatine phosphate. Now, it's this that is going to be used in the muscles to create ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate, not quite sure, which is basically like the fuel of the muscles. It's what keeps the energy going. And it uses energy in the muscles, and that helps the muscles contract while being worked. So anytime you contract a muscle, which is essentially any movement, that's what your muscles are using, ATP.
Yeah.
So the more creatine you have, the more creatine phosphate you create, and therefore the more ATP you can have. Now, it's obviously not indefinite, but you know, any further production of ATP helps the muscles perform better. There's been some studies that supplementing your body with creatine can help boost your phosphate creatine by up to about 20%. Now, that won't necessarily transfer straight to ATP, straight to 20% gains, but with the more phosphate, you've got more likely to have higher energies in the muscle, and higher ATP count to help the muscles perform better.
Okay.
Following so far?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the increased energy in the muscle helps increase contractions and essentially can help your body perform harder, but also help them recover. So when you're contracting muscles, they tire out, but with more ATP, you can keep them recovering and moving faster for longer. Mm-hmm. Okay, so think about it in this sense. This is a really basic sense. Like if you go and do a set of 10 reps, now this isn't directly how it works, but your body with more ATP, you have more energy to go into the next 10 set of 10 quicker, or with less fatigue, essentially. And obviously with that ability, it helps you train more, and with the training more, that's where you help it gain your strength and your speed and your power. So it's not necessarily, that's not creating bigger, stronger muscles, but it is creating you the opportunity to create bigger, stronger muscles, if that makes sense. There is also some studies of other side effects where the creatine allows your muscles to absorb more water, which some people don't consider good, but when it's in the muscles, it helps increase the cell volume, which means the cell membrane stretches. And this can mean help with initiate long-term increases in muscular growth and protein synthesis. So basically, the more muscle area you have, you can create more protein synthesis, which helps increase the muscle size. Okay. So in turn, helping you be able to build more strength for that. There is sometimes types of creatine that holds water between the skin and the muscle, which is the kind of the bad retaining water, which you don't want. And that comes from different types of creatine which I'll talk about in a second. There's been thousands of studies on this, and almost everyone, I don't want to say everyone because I've not read them all, but almost everyone has shown that when compared to a placebo and a control, people taking creatine doing a certain strength program typically get stronger. They say out in the world, 75% of Olympic lifters, weightlifters, powerlifters, boxers take it. And they say if you go to any random gym, about 60% of people will have or will be taking it at some point or other. So it's obviously been really pushed in the market nowadays. Yeah. Benefits of that is because it's pretty cheap. It's cheap, it's effective, it's dead simple. So there's 3 different types that you'll probably kind of find in the shops and stuff. The first one, the kind of most common one, is creatine monohydrate. This is the simplest and easiest one to be created, so it's cheap and it's very effective. You take this in sort of regular doses every day. Sometimes, being the way it is, it can also often create a little bit stomach upsets and it might not absorb into your body that well. So there is creatine monohydrates, which are micronized creatine, means that it gets absorbed into your body better, but some people still have issues with that. And as was mentioned earlier, the creatine monohydrate is the one that creates water, or can create retention of water underneath the skin, which isn't great if you're trying to be a bodybuilder, for example. You've got creatine hydrochloride, which is creatine attaches to hydrochloric acid, and this helps the body absorb it. Apparently, some studies suggest up to 60% better than the creatine monohydrate. So this means you can take lower doses of it with higher effect, lower stomach discomfort, and less retention of water underneath the skin. So that will obviously cost more, but potentially a better version of it. And then you also have magnesium creatine chelate, and this is when creatine is combined with magnesium, and it helps the creatine's ability to draw water into the muscles, which, as we mentioned, can stretch the cells and help with protein synthesis, essentially allowing you to get stronger in that sense.
All right.
I think I've got not too much more on creatine, but I've taken creatine on and off. I've never done like a loading cycle. They used to say you had to load it, take 4 or 5 times a day for a month, and then you can take 5 grams a day every day after that. But I tend to just take 5 grams a day all the time. Yeah. And do I see improvement? Hard to say. Maybe I'm not strict enough with it. Yeah. And so I can't really say, but it's so cheap in the grand scheme of things. Take it, why not?
Yeah. So you recommend it? You recommend it?
I don't. I don't recommend it in the sense that, it's going to make you bigger and stronger.
Mm-hmm.
But I say it as even if it does like a 2% increase, less than that, 5.5%, or even if it does nothing, it's cheap enough that you can kind of
just play around with it.
Even if a bit of a placebo effect that you think you're getting stronger, even that is, suitable enough.
Okay.
I've had bags of creatine that have lasted me 6 months. Because it's just, it's cheap and, bag creatine. I'm talking maybe $20, so it's worth it in that sense.
Yeah.
And I've not got weaker using it, so.
All right.
And I've no side effects. I've not heard of or seen any other side effects other than a little bit of water retention, which as soon as you stop it, it stops.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
You ever taken it?
No.
Oh.
I thought about it.
Yeah. As in, other than potential, as in you can get bigger with it because, your muscles get more water and so does your skin, but it doesn't bloat you.
Yeah.
Some people get bloated, but not really.
Okay.
If you take the creatine hydrochloride, you definitely wouldn't, but,
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the two sort of, I think, most popular ones.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are almost in every pre-workout or every version of something or other. There's one more popular one, which you may talk about, actually. But when it comes to supplements, like chemicals, essentially.
Should I do that one next?
If you've got it there, yeah, why not? Yeah, let's stick with the chemicals.
Okay. Talking BCAAs, right?
I'm talking BCAAs.
Okay. So BCAAs are branched-chain amino acids, and they are valine, isoleucine, and leucine?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That's how we're going to pronounce them. They are useful for gaining skeletal muscle and helpful for maintaining mass while on a calorie-deficient diet.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
yes.
That's good.
So they do a bunch of other cool things too. So they increase protein synthesis, which
Hold on, real quick. I'm going to throw you under the bus here. What's non-skeletal muscles? Is that like the heart?
Sure.
Muscles that aren't attached to the skeleton, maybe? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Okay, sorry. I said totally threw you under the bus on that one.
Thanks.
So the whole point of the podcast, you might only ask questions and like people can say yes to. And like, it's like the whole sort of improvisation. You're meant to sort of, it's always like yes and type thing. So I really need to stop doing it. I think I've done it before. I just asked you questions that I know you probably don't have an answer for.
You do it all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm really bad at it. It's just because I'm dead curious and I'm like, oh, maybe off chance she might have an answer to it. Sorry.
No, I never know the answers.
I'm like the worst improv assistant ever. Anyway, carry on.
Okay, so they increase protein synthesis, which is the process of making new muscle protein. So that's like the first thing they do. And in addition to that, they reduce protein breakdown. So they decrease the activity of the protein breakdown pathway and decrease the expression of several complexes involved in that breakdown. So they're increasing the synthesis and decreasing the breakdown. So more protein.
The breakdown of the muscle or the breakdown of the protein?
Protein. They increase protein synthesis and reduce protein breakdown.
Okay. So when a protein gets broken down, it breaks down into amino acid, right?
Yes.
So they reduce that. So you don't want it to happen. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
But I'm assuming if they do it, it means it's good. So
yes. Okay, so then the other thing they do, and this one I didn't know about, and this is really cool. So it said that you can have better workouts, and this is why. So BCAAs compete with tryptophan for, you know how like in the last one, or in beta-alanine, like beta-alanine and taurine use the same receptor. Well, those BCAAs and tryptophan use the same receptor. So they compete for entry into the brain through that receptor because tryptophan then is converted to serotonin. So during exercise, serotonin levels rise, and as they rise, you feel more fatigued.
Yeah, I was about to say serotonin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you're not able to push as hard. But if you take BCAAs, they reduce the amount of tryptophan that's uptaken in like by that transmitter. And so less tryptophan gets through the blood-brain barrier, less serotonin is made, and you can go hard, like work longer and harder.
So I'm curious, is that like an illusion then? Should your body be resting? Or is it just your body not telling itself to rest? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is it like you as you know, say your engine light comes on and you're putting a sticker over it? Is it basically you hiding the engine light, or is it?
I don't think so. I think that like serotonin has to be made some way, and
I guess
It's just not making.
Yeah, and I guess it's probably just like a pre-warning.
Yeah.
This factor of safety, and it clearly must work because.
Yeah.
Or maybe because it's helping the protein, like reducing or increasing the synthesis. That's almost making up for the fact that you don't need to have that.
Mm-hmm. Like extra rest or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So they are found in whey protein. BCAAs are. But if you take them, like if you're just drinking them in the whey protein, they are peptide bound, and so you have to digest them first. Like they have to be digested and then absorbed. But if you take just the straight like BCAA supplements, you just absorb them into your bloodstream. They don't have to be digested first.
I'm assuming that the connectors are filled with the peptides, and then you have to break the connections to okay.
Yeah. So you take them in faster, and then you take them like more too, because it's just straight instead of like mixed with something. They also play an important role in regulating glucose and blood sugar levels. So it's recommended to take about 5 to 10 grams per time you take them. They can be taken throughout the day. A lot of people take them, well, for mass building, a lot of people take them for like right when they wake up to help stop the muscle breakdown that was happening while they slept.
Sure.
But then they usually suggest taking them as pre-workout and post-workout, and then during like extended cardio.
I was like all the time.
Yeah, basically. Or it also said like anytime you just need a pick me up.
Yeah.
Or like our protein lacking for the day.
I guess if they're going to stop the tryptamine getting through, is that right? Tryptophan.
Yeah.
Getting through. So I guess anytime you want to stop feeling fatigue.
Yeah.
I need to eat more of these. So I bought some recently, and so them by themselves. Have you ever had them by themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. So them by themselves, unflavored, taste like ass.
I've never had them flavored.
They're so bad, and they don't mix very well. They're very soluble.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the type I got. I'm not sure. So then I get flavored version, and the recent flavored version I got is like blue raspberry, and I hate raspberry, and it just tastes like it's just awful. And I have to force myself. It's like me eating a banana. I hate bananas. I have to force myself to eat bananas.
Really?
It's the same thing. I have to force myself to drink this stuff. It's so Megan.
Ew.
So that's probably why I haven't tried these ones more. Nice flavour, and it goes down like a treat, but
yeah,
maybe I need to find a new flavour.
Yes. There's good flavors out there.
Oh, I'm sure. So you said you have taken these?
Yeah, I take them every day.
Yeah?
Well, every time I work out.
Do you feel them? I suppose it's hard to tell.
No idea.
Yeah, no idea.
I take a bunch of stuff.
There seems to be so much science behind it. It must be working.
Yeah.
I often wonder if I stopped taking all this stuff, what would happen?
Yeah, I have only taken them after workouts. I've never taken them like the pre-workout or like before bed or anything like that. Yeah. So
my flatmate has some from a company called Body Tech or whatever, called like Fruit Punch or something. That was the tits. That was like, I would be drinking that stuff all day, every day. Except it was like $40 a tub. And it only had like 37. So I was like, I could go through this in a week easily. But it was so yummy. So I'm going to have to get myself some of that. Yeah. And just sort of ration it a little bit more.
Mix it with something. That's what I do.
That's a good point. With all the crap I'm going to be taking
that's
after
what I do.
this
I just put it all in one.
Okay, so you recommend BCAAs?
Yeah.
I think out of all these, that might be the one I recommend. That's the one I hear everyone takes. Like all the CrossFit athletes. Yeah. You know, they may not all take creatine or beta-alanine or any other stuff, but they're all on BCAAs. So yeah, that must be a good one.
Yep.
Good stuff. So I was gonna go into something else, but I might go into something that you mentioned there, whey protein. This whey protein is slightly different because it is a more of a natural occurring substance. Where although all these are somewhat natural occurring, when you take them, they tend to be synthesized. You're familiar with whey protein, right? Yeah. You've taken whey protein.
I take whey protein every day too.
Every day.
I do not mix that with BCAAs. They are not good together.
No, because it tends to be like a creamy, chocolatey, milky stuff, and then sweet, fruity stuff. Not good. So, just for people who are not familiar, milk is made up of two types of proteins. You've got the whey proteins and you've got the casein, which we'll speak about in a minute. The whey protein is separated from the casein in the milk and it can also be formed as a byproduct from making cheese. The whey protein is considered a complete protein because it contains all the 9 amino acids, some of which we just spoke about, and it is really low in lactose content. Something we didn't mention actually, the BCAAs can come in a number of different forms. You've got like a 2 to 4 to 4 and like a 1 to 2 to 2, which is basically the distribution between the three different ingredients. and guys, look that up if you want it, but basically the difference in the distribution affects which one you get more, which affects various aspects of which one they do. So whether it's like the increased muscle protein synthesis, or whether it's the help with calorie deficit. But have a wee look online, there's so much information on it. Either one, I think the simple 2 to 1 to 1 works best. That's what most athletes take, I think. But check that guy's out just to confirm. Anyway, back to the whey protein. So whey protein is probably one of the most used. Although we said creatine stuff is mass used, but this is used by everyone and their mother. You know, my brothers and sisters and mum and dad have all been on this. People who go to the gym once every fortnight still take this. You know, it's one of these ones, and it's pretty good at a lot of things. So this is a quick list of things that it's helped for. It helps aiding weight loss. Apparently, according to some studies, it's got anti-cancer properties. It's got lowering cholesterol properties. It helps with asthma. It helps with blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. It helps reduce weight loss for people with HIV. So all these different things it can help with. But, you know, it's just quite remarkable in essentially what it can do for something so simple. Essentially, it's just protein. Getting protein in your body goes to the muscles, and that's what the muscles use to break it into the amino acids to help build the protein. And that's what we want. You know, all this stuff is the amino acids are helping it, but you get this stuff and it's going to be the basic stuff to do it through, and it's so naturally occurring. What's really interesting is human milk is something like 60% whey protein and 20% casein, which cow milk is the other way around, essentially. Okay. So our bodies are used to having a lot of whey. Or was that the other way around? No, yeah, they're used to having a lot of whey. So although we don't get it from cow's milk, we used to get it from our mother's milk. Okay. So actually our bodies are quite good at using this and kind of working with it. Mm-hmm. So whey protein kind of comes similar to creatine in 3 typical styles. You've got whey protein concentrate, WPC. You've got whey protein isolate, WPI. And you've got whey protein hydrolysate. I think it's hydrolysate. And these work in slightly different ways. So the whey protein concentrate contains low levels of fat and low levels of carbohydrates, so which is good if you're on like a lean cut type protein. And the percentage of protein in the whey protein concentrate depends on how concentrated it is. So the lower ends of concentrate tend to have 30% protein, the higher end have 90% protein. So it all depends on how it's kind of processed, but the other stuff is never going to be fat and carbohydrates. It's probably just other chemicals that aren't bad but aren't necessarily producing any proteins and amino acids. You've got whey protein isolate, which is a lot of the time you'll see that as the main thing used in the supplement world, like the working out world. And it's further processed from the whey protein concentrate above. It's got almost removes all the fat, all the lactose, and usually about 90% protein. So that's as rich a protein as you can get from this with the minimal amount of bad stuff. You know, if you're lactose intolerant or checking your calories. And then you've got the whey protein hydrolysate, which is considered to be the pre-digested form of whey protein. So it's already undergone partial hydrolysis, process of necessary for the body's absorption. So basically it's going to speed up the process of your body absorbing rather than your digestive system having to do the work. So that's the benefit from that. That's commonly used in medical protein supplements for infants and baby formula, because they don't obviously have as good a digestive system or as active a digestive system, and also helps reduce any allergies that you may have from some of the chemicals in there. But that's the basis of whey protein. You know, it's just it's a raw form of it, nice and quick, simple, high in protein, low in lactose and fat and anything else that you get from when you eat steak or chicken or fish. You know, you don't have to worry about all that. It's just straight to the point. Yeah. And it comes all chocolatey if you want it, or vanilla or banana or cookies and cream or 100 other different flavours. That's almost like the main thing. Everyone wants to take it, they just got to find the right flavour. Yep. Should it be expensive?
No.
No. Yeah. Guys, this is my number one tip. Number one tip. You can't change whey protein. If you're just going for whey protein isolate, simple 90% protein, low fat, low carb, lactose, it should be cheap as chips. You know, if you go for some of these brands, they'll upsell you, you know, and it's got a fancy, colourful bottle, and maybe they'll put in extra BCAAs. You don't need extra BCAAs. It's whey protein. You know, it's got the amino acids already in it. Yeah. and it's probably cheaper to buy separate BCAAs. Or, there is a difference when it's mass gainer and it's whey protein, or they'll have probably whey protein concentrate with some other things. But the reason you take whey protein is because it's a simple raw form. There's no point mixing it. So just be wary. Don't be going out and spending $90, $100 on a 30-day supply of whey protein. You can do that for a quarter of that price.
Yeah.
So just be aware. If you want a good flavour, you may pay a little bit more as well.
Yes.
Or any wee chocolatey chunks in it. But whey protein.
Yeah.
Must have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say must have. If you're eating a bit of chicken straight after workout, that's be fine too. But you're probably not, because who eats right after a workout like that? Okay, some of us do. I know I do. But mine's 90% mayonnaise. Let's be honest.
Ew.
All right, so I've talked about whey protein. Do you want to talk about the other side of milk?
So I have casein. I still don't know how to say this protein. It is a top source of long-lasting amino acids. With this one, so studies show that this one increases muscle growth, improves metabolic rate, especially during sleep, and has higher levels of satiation. Satiation. Why can I not say that word?
Sensation?
Not sensation.
Yeah.
Satiation.
See, I'm not...
Yes, whatever.
Okay.
And it can yield a greater strength levels because of its anti-catabolic abilities. And fun fact, it reduces the effects it reduces and prevents the effects of enamel erosion.
Oh, my teeth.
Yeah, it helps your teeth. So this one is gradually digested. When you take it, it helps stop or slow the muscle tissue breakdown. So that's the anti-catabolic ability. Uh-huh. So timing's really important for this one because it provides that slow, steady flow of amino acids to your bloodstream that can last for hours. So this one's best consumed before bedtime or before a period of time where you can't eat for a while, long meetings or things like that, because it prevents that your body from going to that catabolic state. So there's an increase in muscle growth. Well, in order for there to be an increase in muscle growth, protein synthesis needs to be greater than muscle breakdown. So whey protein increases protein synthesis, and casein protein lowers muscle breakdown. So when you take both of them, you build muscle.
So basically what we're saying is drink milk.
But we're saying don't mix. Well, milk is mixed. But if you're taking the supplement form of them, don't mix them. You don't want to take them at the same time. Because when you take casein protein, the blood amino acids and protein synthesis peaks around 3 to 4 hours after consumption.
Ah, okay. So I take casein and 3 to 4 hours later, then you can take your...
Or take whey first, because when you take whey, it happens immediately.
Oh,
so
okay.
you want that one right after your workout. You take that one, it does the spike or whatever, and then you eat your dinner, all that, and then before bed take the casein one, because then that continues that cycle.
Ah. I have just had a protein shaker full of casein already.
Perfect. Well,
yeah, kind of perfect for bed. I might still eat something though because I'm greedy guts. But still, have you taken much of this?
I just started 2 days ago.
Ah. I know Progenics does a recovery version of. A cocoon, which is basically I don't know if you've heard of that. That's it comes in cinnamon. It's not very nice.
Ew.
No offense, Progenics, but sort yourselves out. I take one from a company called My Protein, which is ace, and it's got a slightly different taste to the whey protein.
Yeah.
Which I guess is normal, but I just noticed that.
I feel the consistency is a little different. I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just the brand.
I feel it's a bit more chalky.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah. I used to have a supplement back home. It was called Bedtime Extreme, and that's what I took. And it was basically that with a couple of other wee zinc and magnesium mixed in. But yeah, because it's called Bedtime Extreme, I thought it was fun. But yeah, recommend this one?
Yeah, I think together they promote muscle growth, and why not?
Exactly. If you're looking to get strong, especially, this is just standard stuff, really.
Yeah.
But not 100% required. If you're eating a good healthy diet and you're working out less than 10 hours a week, even though even if you're on 10, maybe less than that, you'll be fine. But fast people come to the gym, I know I've had in the past, okay, what protein should I be taking? What creatine? I'm like, dude, this is your first time at the gym. Give it a couple of days, get your body used to it, then we'll sort you out on supplements. Okay, cool. So they're the first ones. The next one we're going to move on to a slightly different. We talked a little bit about pre-workout. Have you ever had pre-workout?
Yes.
Yes. So in a good pre-workout, you'll probably have some BCAAs, branched amino acids. You might have beta. What do you say?
Beta. I say beta.
Beta alanine.
Alanine.
Okay,
Yes.
beta alanine. No, beta alanine. That word, alanine. And then, nobody quite sure what else people put in this, right? But I think most of the time, people don't realise it's just caffeine.
Yeah.
Caffeine's the thing that gets you going. Are you a caffeine drinker?
It doesn't do anything for me.
See, I don't think it does anything for me either. And that does happen. People do have like higher tolerances to it. But yeah, I don't feel like it does anything to me. Like I used to drink Red Bulls like they were going out of style, and I felt like I could still sleep. I used to. So we used a UK version called Relentless. It's like a Monster, but a Coca-Cola branded version, and it was amazing. And I would drink one before bed, and I'd go sleep, and I'd have a good night's sleep. And so I think it does depend on how your body reacts. But did you know that caffeine is a central nervous system stimulant? Okay, so which basically means that it's a psychoactive drug. Can you name any more psychoactive drugs? So a psychoactive drug is something which changes or can alter your consciousness or alter the way your bodies should be feeling at that moment. So I hope you understand.
Blank. I know this answer.
Basically name any drug.
Okay, like cocaine.
Cocaine, perfect. Cocaine, speed, heroin, alcohol, tobacco, marijuana. They're all psychoactive drugs because they all change your state of mind and change how your body produces hormones and stuff. Caffeine is exactly the same, but it's one of the only legal ones that people consume on a regular basis. Typically
Multiple
too
times
much.
a day.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Obviously, we know that the most obvious versions of this come in various plants and seeds and stuff, and we know it's from coffee. The coffee bean is widely used around the world. But essentially, what happens is it blocks the action between adenosine on its receptors and coincidentally prevents the onset drowsiness induced by adenosine. I need to pronounce that word, but basically it's very similar to your other one where that one blocks the receptors from drowsiness. Same thing. It blocks a part of our blood which is getting a certain, I'm assuming this is hormone something, and it stops us from getting drowsy. It also stimulates certain portions of our autonomic nervous system. So not only is it stopping our drowsiness, it's also activating some of our more alert, the more sort of parts of our nervous system which keep us alert and active. Caffeine has lots of studies on it as well, unsurprisingly, being to how much it's used, and it has been proven to perform athletic performance, anaerobic performance, especially in endurance sports, which you wouldn't necessarily think. You might think is shorter term, but it really isn't, and anaerobic conditions. Moderate doses of caffeine can improve sprint performances, cycling, running times. It can reduce endurance. It can delay the onset of muscle fatigue, central fatigue, cycling power output. Caffeine also increases the metabolic rate in adults. So not only is your metabolic condition increasing, your anaerobic, your aerobic conditions are increasing. It is not surprised it's such a wonder drug because it seems to be doing all this great stuff, and there isn't that many downsides to it. Surprisingly, you think there is, but withdrawal. A lot of people claim withdrawal from caffeine. Now, out of say 50% of people who have caffeine suggest they've got withdrawals, only about 10% of them actually have any physical withdrawal symptoms. A lot of them it's just all in their head. And the people who do have withdrawal, they'll tend to get a little bit fatigue, headache, irritability, depressed moods, reduced contentness, and a little bit an inability to concentrate, and they can feel sleepy, stomach pains, joint pains. Some of this is placebo, some of this is physical, actual kind of issues with the head. And some people can have these headaches for up to 2 days following the withdrawal, essentially, of caffeine. It's interesting when this is a mix of... Anyway, that's what it does. I was going to go on about what's a mix of alcohol and tobacco and birth control, because it does some remarkable things. Like, it's weird. alcohol blocks the effects of caffeine, but caffeine doesn't block the effects of alcohol. So there's this weird sort of mix that you get. So you can be really alert, but also not control your body, and it's this weird mix. And that's why Red Bull and vodka, I'm sure, or whatever it is, goes down so well, or Jaeger bombs, or whatever. So smoking tobacco increases caffeine's clearance by 56%. So essentially, you're smoking tobacco and having caffeine at the same time. That's why you can feel alert, even though smoking tends to be a bit of a depressant. It's weird. And birth control pills can extend the half-life of caffeine. So essentially, if you take caffeine and it typically lasts 2 hours, if you happen to be taking some birth controls, it can make it last for an extra hour on top of that. So
that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's weird. It's obviously remarkable. It's obviously all these different hormones and drugs in your system can kind of work together to produce some crazy ass shiz. But essentially, that's what's stuck in your pre-workouts, and massive dosages, stupid amount of dosages. The medical institutes recommend about 400 milligrams a day. In a cup of coffee, you can have anywhere between 100 to 200 ish. And 1 cup, depending if it's instant or just pre-made, like what's it when it's not instant? When you actually cook it yourself?
Homemade?
Yeah, I guess that'll do, homemade. And in a Red Bull, you've got about the same. You've got about 120 milligrams per can. In some of the pre-workouts that you can get up to 700 milligrams per serving.
Shit.
Okay, popular ones like C4 have straight up 400 milligrams. I've got a list of other ones, and the other ones vary between like 125, which would be a Red Bull, all the way up to 700. Wow. So have a good look on the back of your pre-workout, and make sure you don't take it too late in the night, because half-life of caffeine is long, especially if you're on birth control. That can keep you up all night long. So yeah, it's good though. Yeah. And you do get withdrawals in your body, and there is some studies that suggest your body dips below, and you never, your baseline will never be quite as good what it was, but those haven't been proven as much as the benefits of caffeine. So it's a really interesting drug. I thought it had more bad points than it apparently does. This is my initial findings, and this is the general consensus, but this is also probably pushed by the coffee industry because it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yes. So take everything with a pinch of salt.
You got all your research from Starbucks.
All from Starbucks. Why not? Starbucks and Nescafe. Yep. They're the main, probably, sponsors of these studies. But I don't take enough caffeine. I haven't taken tea or coffee. I don't take pre-workout really. I'll just mix my own stuff, and I'll sometimes have like a wee mayo thing that's got some caffeine in it, but nothing major. But as I said, I don't really feel effects personally. Yeah. I only used to make Red Bulls because I like the taste.
Same.
It was just that sweet tart type taste of them. Alright, cool. That's caffeine. What's the next one for you? I think you've got the next one for you is a bit more sensible.
Omega-3 fish oil.
There we go. Probably one of the most sensible ones.
Yes. So this one is... So fish oil or omega-3 fish oil is the number one recommendation from like American Heart Association is for heart health. But it does a lot more. So back up. Your body can't make it on its own. So you have to get it from the food you eat or supplements. But so it's recommended you get 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day, which is at least 2 servings of fatty fish per week, or supplement if you don't like fish. Mm-hmm. So there are 3, I think, omega-3s, but 2 of them are the long chain ones, and those are the ones found in fish oil supplements, and those are EPA and DHA. So those are the ones your body can actually use. It can't use the short one. So it has to convert it to a long one or something like that, but it's like an inefficient process. So better to just take the 2. Yeah.
So in the supplements, you always get EPA and EDH. Oh, EH.
Yeah, in the fish oil supplements.
Yeah, okay.
So what it helps do is it speeds exercise recovery. So it has anti-inflammatory compounds that help heal the microscopic tears from training. Okay. It helps make you stronger by decreasing muscle breakdown and increasing protein synthesis, which we talked about.
Protein synthesis seems to be a big thing. Yeah. It's all about that.
Yeah. It reduces DOMS. So
all those people who feel sore after workouts 2 days later.
It helps reduce that. It boosts your reaction time because it improves cognitive functioning, and it plays a role in the visual processing and signaling. Huh. Yeah, so it's very helpful for like brain health.
I didn't know any of this stuff.
It reduces overuse injury by preventing tissue degradation, easing inflammation, boosting blood and oxygen flow to the muscles, increasing range of motion, and relieving joint tenderness.
It's like a super drug, no wonder
It is.
As I actually thought it was good for your joints. That's about all I thought about it.
There's a lot. It burns excess fat. It decreases your heart rate and your oxygen usage, which makes workouts, like high-intensity workouts, easier.
I need to get back on this.
It increases calcium absorption and mediates bone growth, so it helps like stabilize your bones, like not break. And it reduces inflammation for asthma sufferers. So and also not just asthma sufferers, but exercise-induced asthma sufferers too.
Damn.
So it's like the best.
I wish I liked fish. So, do you take this currently?
No, but I'm about to go buy some tomorrow.
Buy a million of it.
They don't smell very good. And I can't remember if they don't taste very good or not, but I know they smell very fishy.
Well, I think I've had, if you buy a good brand, it shouldn't smell fishy.
Okay, good.
And if it's still in date, it shouldn't be fishy either.
Okay, well, then
so
maybe
if it
the
goes
ones
out of
I
date
was...
and it's a bad brand, then that's when it smells fishy.
Okay.
So it shouldn't.
Buy a better brand.
Yeah, buy a better brand, essentially.
And it's best to take them with a meal, preferably dinner.
Okay. I've gone through stages of taking them in the past. It's just... I think I need... I'm very good at my food prep. Maybe I just need to get better at my supplement prep.
Yeah.
So this is probably... Oh my god, we've almost recommended everything.
I think that's why it's our top 10. Yeah.
As I wouldn't necessarily recommend caffeine, but if you want stimulating, go for it. The rest of them, so far, I would recommend.
Yeah. This one's highly recommended. Because this one's useful not just for... like working out. Even if you don't work out regularly, this is still very helpful.
Dad and grandma and grandpas and children should all be taking this stuff, really. Or just eating fish.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad eat a lot of fish, so then should be fine, but I don't like fish unless it's tuna fish. And tuna fish is not fatty, especially when it comes out of a can.
It is not.
Okay. Any much more to add to that?
No, just that one's an important one.
No bad side effects, it's just maybe a wee fishy burp.
Yes.
But if you've got some, it's in date.
Out of date. Just check the dates, guys.
That's remarkable. Alright, okay, well, I guess I can go to my next one.
Alright.
So the next one, this is not one that I would necessarily recommend to anyone. This is more specialised, and I put it on this list because I hear people taking it. But actually, I was reading up on it. It's an over-counter drug in the US, but in Europe and UK it's prescription only. So it's not one that's that readily available to the world. It is and it isn't, and it's mainly used for certain conditions. But I'll talk about it because it's a part of working out. Well, what do you say is the biggest part of recovering for working out? It's like top 3 things, and one of them is what this helps.
Sleep.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. I was just wanting you to say sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. So sleep, and if you can't get a good night's sleep, or if you struggle, or if you've got issues, people often recommend, or you can be prescribed melatonin. Have you ever taken melatonin?
I have, but I don't know if it actually does anything for me.
Yeah.
It's like the caffeine for me.
Yeah, because it's almost as a reverse effect of caffeine. So, do you know what melatonin is? That's really interesting. I didn't know about it.
No.
So melatonin can be kind of considered, it's a hormone, right? But it can be considered a neurohormone because it affects the function of the brain, essentially. And what it does is it regulates, and everybody has it in their body, and it gets secreted in their body, and it helps regulate your sleep patterns. So every animal and lots of plants as well actually have a way of secreting melatonin, and that's what helps them figure out when's night time. So in your retinas you've got light receptors, and that receptors transfers through various parts of your brain, but eventually going to your pineal gland, which is like in the centre of your brain, at the top of your spinal column. At the top of there, it's like a wee grain of rice sized bit of brain, and that's what secretes melatonin. And your retinas will blah 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 go through it. And when we were animals of the world without artificial light, I would say, okay, dark time, and what it does, it releases the melatonin, which goes to your senses and basically makes you feel sleepy. And that's what's telling you, okay, night time, we've got to kind of wind down now. And when the light comes out, it reactivates. Even when you've got your eyes closed, your retinas can still sense the light, and it wakes you up again and gets you going. But it also adjusts throughout the year. So for some animals, it can like make you become more awake, and it can affect your sex drive. So like when animals who can only mate during the springtime, it kind of affects that system. And it doesn't necessarily do that in humans, but there's some people that think it does, but it's not been necessarily proven.
Okay.
But it's really interesting that light affects this, and it can really alternate things. So I think before taking into this, what you should really be dealing with is changing the style of light. Go down to like take away all blue light, get that nice warm light, lower them, candlelight, whatever you can, just to kind of turn your brain off properly. But otherwise, we can use this. So we primarily use this to help us sleep. We can take it in pill form, you can take it in droplets. Get it into your body, it's just going to start activating the pineal gland and start secreting the melatonin a bit more and make us feel drowsy and want to sleep. It's also been used to help Alzheimer's disease, so it apparently helps memory loss. It apparently helps bipolar disorder, lung disease, insomnia, which you obviously guess. It can be used to help bring in the ears, depression, seasonal affective disorder, which a lot of people like Americans, Texans come across that in Aberdeen. During the winter, we don't have a very long daylight time, so that can often affect them. Bone loss, osteoporosis, movement disorder, a whole bunch of things, which again are probably due to your body switching off when it's dark and light, and etc., etc. But
could it also be due to like you're getting more rest, so it's more recovery time, so then those things?
There's probably a large part of that as well. If your body's properly shutting down when it should be, a lot of these things can actually repair or fix, I'm assuming. And it's not always necessarily proven. A lot of its claims are not 100%, and especially not 100% across all people. Because other people say they use it for breast cancer, brain cancer, different various cancers, which seems strange, but I'm not quite sure how that falls. But basically, for supplement on a person who's working out type stuff, if you have struggled getting sleep and you're not quite getting the rest you need, melatonin can be used at maybe a later resort to help you get a good night's sleep, help your body recover, and prepare yourself for the next day. But it shouldn't be overused. It should be dependent on.
Yeah.
You want to try and get natural sleep as much as you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. I took it for like anytime I would travel back and forth for jet lag.
That's something I didn't mention, but humans often use it for jet lag. Yeah. That's one of the main prescriptions to help reduce the jet lag, but only in one direction. Because obviously, if you use another one where you're more awake, you want to use it when you're more awake and you want to get sleep.
Yes.
Rather than the other way around.
Yeah.
Obviously, because they usually more sleepy. But yeah.
Yep. All right, my last one is, there's kind of two. It's vitamin C and D. So I'll start with vitamin C. It is helpful for keeping your immune system functioning optimally. And that's like what everybody knows, like vitamin C is helpful for. Like you don't get sick if you take it.
Yeah.
But there's also some other important components. It decreases recovery time between workouts. It's important for connective tissue repair, and that's especially for bodybuilders. Since it's an antioxidant, it helps reverse some of the oxidative damage that may occur during exercise. So the oxidative damage is caused by free radicals that interfere with the cell's ability to function normally, and that can lead to health conditions like aging, cancer, and heart disease. So it helps stop that.
Okay.
And it is only necessary as a supplement if you're not consuming enough through food. And it's found in like a lot of different fruits and vegetables, oranges, orange juice, bell peppers.
Yeah.
A lot of healthy, like fruits and vegetables. So that one's vitamin C. If you're not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, then maybe take it. But otherwise, you should be okay. There's tests you can have done to see if you have enough of if your levels of these things are okay.
Yeah.
The other one is vitamin D. It's important for optimal skeletal and muscle function. And also exercise increases the need for vitamin D, because your muscles, heart, and vascular tissue all contain the key vitamin D receptors. So if you have more of that tissue from working out and like exercising consistently, then you have more receptors, so you're going to need more.
Okay.
Many athletes have a vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to inflammatory processes, muscular damage, increased protein synthesis requirements, increased immune activity, lack of sun exposure can cause it, and so can race and genetics. So those are all the things that can cause it, that deficiency. Yeah. So adequate vitamin D intake or consumption, I guess, increases or supports your VO2 max, so your maximal oxygen uptake, your power production. It increases testosterone levels, it decreases inflammation, and it reduces colds and flu. And it can improve your mood and reduce depression. Those are like the top 6 things that it does.
That's pretty impressive as well.
Yeah. It's best... Well, so the sources you can get it from, the sun is one of them, but a lot of people are work and like inside in like an office and can't get the necessary exposure to the sun. So then it also is in so it comes from egg yolks, pork, mushrooms, fortified milk, and yogurt, or supplementation. So they recommend 1,000 to 2,000 IUs. I don't know what that stands for, but it's whatever the vitamin recommendations are in. 1,000 to 2,000 per day during the winter. So if you're not getting any sun exposure, that. And then for everything else, it's more just like getting tested and seeing how much you need. And if you consume more than 2,000 regularly, then it says to get your blood tested regularly, because you can like overdose on vitamin D.
Huh. Too much D.
Yes.
Sorry.
And if you're going to take a supplement, D3 is the best form.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why, but it is.
I was going to ask for that.
I know. I'll just go ahead and preference that. I don't know why, but that's the best form.
That's the one. Okay. Do you take any of these?
No.
I used to go through stages of going through vitamin C. Okay. Mainly because I remember hearing an interview with Rich Froning one time, and he claimed the only supplement he takes is vitamin C. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm assuming he was joking to some degree, because he's Rich Froning, so he does. But I don't deny that he was taking vitamin C. So I started taking it, and the wee tablets I have, they're cheap in the UK. They're expensive here, but they're cheap in the UK, and they taste like wee orange sweets. Yes, so it's yummy. But over here, they're quite expensive. So you get the gummies. Everyone's having vitamin C gummies, and they're just like wee fruity gummies, but they cost a bit more here than they do back home. Okay. So that's the vitamins. 2 vitamins. Yeah. Now, I was going to talk about magnesium, and I will mention it. I don't think it's as important as a lot of the other stuff we've spoken about, but I know people take zinc and magnesium are often recommended as minerals to take. Zinc, I know, helps recovery at night time, so it's often taken before night. I don't know any of the kind of science behind it. And I know magnesium is similar. Magnesium can help the bone structure, and has been known to help reduce fatigue in athletes and increase energy and endurance. However, there's very little athletic benefits that have been proven between it. But magnesium is important to have in your body to help your bone structure, and it has been proven to help with digestion, to stop things like ulcers forming in your stomach. So if you're having a lot of this crap in your stomach, it might help. You mainly get from green leafy vegetables and food, but you can take it as a supplement if you don't eat enough of them, which can help you a lot. It can be used to treat a whole massive amount of different things, but it's just one of those other ones that are recommended. Mostly if you get these multivitamins or vitamins and mineral kind of tablets, it'll have a good concentrate of this in it, so it's quite good for that. But I would go more into it, but it's not. I think the other ones that we've done are more important. Yeah. So take your vitamins, vitamin D and C if you can, and if you're taking like a multivitamin mineral tablet, it should cover you for these anyway. Yeah. So we should be all good.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's our top 9.5 recommendations for your supplements. I know I will be maybe tailoring what I take a little bit more, and maybe even we can test them. Let's try and take 5 of these and report back in 6 months. If we feel any difference between anything, we'll probably forget and we probably won't take it or remember to report on it.
We won't remember to report on it. We'll remember to take it. Yeah. I'm going to try them.
Yeah, I think it's quite a lot of good information. It's amazing what an afternoon or a day of research you can kind of really actually figure out what you put into your body. Just on various websites.
Yeah. Starbucks.
Yeah. Some of them, Starbucks and
all the caffeine.
Cool.
Yeah.
You got any other ones that are off kilter that you might recommend?
No. I do not.
I'm taking 2 other ones that are like really weird. One of them is apparently when injected can help repair torn tissue. They got it in a powder form, which hasn't proven to do anything, but it could. And another one that is it helps get nitrogen into the blood, which is it's like that's like that's when people get pumped when they go work out. It helps get nitrogen into the body, which that does. But I don't like that one because I don't like the pump. Pumps are good for CrossFit. But I take them sporadically, which I probably shouldn't do, but hey ho.
Yeah, do what you can.
And water. Lots of water. I feel like I drink lots of water, but every morning I wake up and I feel dehydrated. I don't get it. I drink easily 150, maybe more ounces of water, probably close to 200 ounces of water a day.
Okay.
And I feel that's a lot of water. That's about 3 litres of water a day.
Yeah. I used to try to drink 4 of the Nalgene bottles, like the liter bottles.
Okay, yes. Wow, that's even more impressive considering you're half my size.
I mean, I haven't been able to do it recently, but before we moved to Japan, I was doing it every day, and then it got thrown off. Then because like when I was working, I would know I have to drink this much by this time and this much by this time, and it was like having that routine made like I knew when to drink what. But now it's today I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to carry around. I don't know if you remember, like a 3 or 2 gallon, maybe more. I'm not even sure. Tub of water. And made sure I had to drink that every day. I think I maybe managed it once or twice.
Oh my god.
It was so hard to drink all of that.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was tough. I don't know where that went. I want to get back out again.
I
used to fill it through with ice, or like half full of ice, and it'd stay cold all day. But it wasn't like fancy Yeti thing, it was just like a plastic one.
Yeah.
Anyway, we wanted to water, I don't know why. Anyway. Alright guys, so let us know any supplements you take and how they've affected you, or if you'd recommend anything new or different. Or if you've had any bad experiences with any of these, that'd be interesting as well, to be honest. That'd be cool. We may have another podcast like this week, or we might wait till next week. It's going to be our review of Infinity War, or maybe we've already posted it. I'm not sure. We'll decide when we put these out. I'm not sure. But either way, if you have seen it, let us know what you thought of it. Put all the spoilers on internet because that's funny. Ruin it for everyone else. I'm going to go see it again so I don't spoil it the second time around. And Deadpool's it next week as well. Which we're looking forward to. I think it's next week. This weekend? I think it's this weekend. Anyway. Okay, cool. Well, I've been Liam.
I'm Kayla.
And this has been MumbleCast.
Bye.
Bye.